This lab will follow inventory items from purchasing to receiving and finally to creating an invoice to pass the expense on to your customer. To follow along, open the file called landworks_purchasing_lab. So let's create the purchase order. Click Purchase Orders on the home page. So first let's choose the vendor. And the vendor is Two Valley Garden Supply down here at the bottom. And then let's choose the class. And the class will be Landscape Lighting. Let's click in the first row and choose Path Lights. And click in the quantity field and type 60. And press Tab. If you're purchasing the items for a particular job or customer, you could select it here. And we'll select Delera Dante Install Landscape Lighting. Okay, let's choose the lighting wire here. Lighting wire, quantity for, and choose the customer and job. In the memo field at the bottom, let's type Dante, D-A-N-T-E, lighting job. Okay, we can click Save and Close. A few days later, you receive the inventory with the bill. So to add the items to inventory, click Receive Inventory with Bill. Let's choose the vendor down here. And Quickbooks mentions that there are some open purchase orders for this vendor. Yes, we do want to receive against a purchase order, so click Yes. Now here is where that memo comes in handy. It can help you pick which purchase order to use, and we will put a check mark there and click OK. So I want to point out one column here. It's the billable column. And Quickbooks puts a check mark in the billable column, assuming that you plan to pass the costs on to the customer. But you could deselect it if necessary. And before saving, I want to point out a couple buttons down here at the bottom. There's Clear Quantities and Show PO. So if you didn't receive everything on the purchase order in this shipment, you could click Clear Quantities and enter the amounts actually received. But we did receive everything in full, so click Receive All. And then if you wanted to show the purchase order for these items, you would select the item and then click Show PO. But I won't do that, and I think we can save it. And when you save the bill, Quickbooks adds the item to inventory and enters the bill in the Pay Bills window. So time flies. You've completed the lighting job and are ready to create the invoice for the customer. So on the home page, click Create Invoices. For the customer job, choose our friend Dante Delera Install Landscape Lighting. And Quickbooks is telling you that there are costs associated with this customer that you can pass along. And we do want to pass them along, so click OK. And what we're passing along are items, so click the Item tab and select both items. Then click OK. So let's go up and choose the class, which is Landscape Lighting. And as long as we're here, the purchase order number, we can enter as 10. Okay, so the items you're passing along to the customer are already entered, and we need to enter the item for the labor. But this company hasn't yet created a service item for lighting installation since it's a new area for them, so let's create one now. So go to the Item column and choose Add New. It will be a service item, and in the item name number field, let's type Install Lighting. And we'll make it a sub-item of Landscape Services. Click in the description field and type a bit longer description. Let's type Lighting, Design, and Labor. In the Rate column, type a 5 to make it 50, and it's non-taxable, so choose Non. And since their new line of business installing landscape lighting is generating income, they decide they want to track that income separately. So let's create a new income account. So we'll have to scroll up and click Add New. For the account name, let's type Landscape Lighting, and we'll make it a sub-account of Landscape Services. And click Save and Close. Click OK. And now we'll need to enter the quantity for the labor, and it took 16 hours. So type 16 and press Tab to have QuickBooks update the amount, and we're ready to save. So click Save and Close. So you've tracked inventory items from a purchase order to receiving it into inventory and finally invoicing the customer.